Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Too Many Nights of the Zealot. In the last episode, we had an immaculate performance back in Arkham chasing the cultists in Return to the Midnight Masks. This time, Nathaniel and Daisy think they deserve a little break before midnight, so they're going to be staying at the Excelsior Hotel. But something wrong is going to eventually, or very quickly, going to happen. Before we begin, let's talk about our upgrades. We had 8 XP to spend because we earned 11 and we spent 3 of them to go to the hotel. So for Nathaniel, I'm going to be upgrading 1 copy of Get Over Here and 1 copy of 1-2 Punch. Seems good. And lastly, with the 1 XP we have left over, we're going to purchase 1 more, and indeed the last copy of Sweeping Kick. And for it, we're going to be replacing this Overpower. As for Daisy, we are finally going to be able to upgrade the other Forbidden Tome to its also Move and Clue version. I know I haven't even played this card yet. I swear it seems good in Daisy's free tome action. So yeah, I think I will need more card draw support with this. On that note, I think that the Maglass level 1, the second copy, is also a good pickup. And speaking of card draw, we're going to get the ultimate card draw 3 cards for nothing, fast. And we're going to replace the level 0 Witten Green for it. Alright, I'm going to go sleeve that up, and then we may begin. Alright, let's start with opening hands. Nathaniel has a counter punch, vicious blow, stand together, 1-2 punch, and mono in mono. I think we're going to burn everything. Looking for sled dogs and or boxing gloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Monster Slayer, Leader Chandler, Sweeping Kick, Glory, and 1-2 punch. Upgraded version. Okay. Leader Chandler will at least help somewhat. 5 cards for Daisy. Laboratory Assistant, Arcane Alignment, Research Librarian, Encyclopedia, and Drawn to the Flame. I think we will keep the Research Librarian and the Lab Assistant because I want to try to go hard into the Forbidden Tome as quickly as I can. Witten Green, the Maglass, and the other Research Librarian. Okay, could be worse. Let us begin. Murder at the Excelsior Hotel. Room 225. Tonight, come alone. All right, let's read these additional rules and clarifications. Patrol. Some enemies have the patrol keyword. During the enemy phase, in Framework Step 3.2, each ready, unengaged enemy with the patrol keyword moves to a connecting location along the shortest path toward the designated location, as described in parentheses next to the word patrol. If there are multiple locations that qualify as the designated location, the lead investigator may choose which location the enemy moves toward. If an enemy with patrol would be compelled to move to a location which is blocked by a card ability, the enemy cannot move, or does not move. The True Culprit. Each copy of the True Culprit is an agenda card with a different card template than most other agendas. These agendas must have each have doom thresholds, which can be found to the right of their title instead of in their normal position. Here are 6 encounter sets, and we can begin. There have been reports of strange occurrences at Arkham's Excelsior Hotel for over a month now. Disappearances, bizarre sightings, sudden closures, sometimes for days at a time, seemingly without warning. It's like something out of a ghost story, but you know better than to simply dismiss these rumors. Too many people have whispered about the Excelsior, and to make matters worse, it seems the stories have only grown more unsettling in the last week. It's time somebody looked into it all. You've tried going to the police, but the grizzled and world-weary Sergeant Monroe has dismissed you every time. You've been left to investigate on your own. Asking around at all the local hotspots yields no leads. Velma's Diner, Hibbs Roadhouse, La Bella Luna. Each visit leaves you with only one more questions. That is, until today. While walking down Central Avenue in downtown after killing Wolfman Drew, minding your own business, you bump into a man in a long trench coat. You begin to apologize, but he simply continues walking briskly away from you. It isn't until you return home that you find the notes in your pocket, one that wasn't there before. I have answers. Room 225, tonight. Come alone. They're watching. Uncertain of what else you can do at this point, you begin making preparations to meet this mystery person. If there is only one investigator in the game, proceed to intro 2. If there are more than one investigator in the game, we go to intro 3. The Excelsior is busy tonight. Either the rumors haven't fazed these guests, or the stories have given the hotel a new allure. Everything seems normal. Hotel staff carry luggage and cleaning supplies throughout the lobby and the main stairway. The man behind the front desk greets you with a curt nod and a thin smile. A uniformed security guard reads the latest Arkham advertiser in the corner. And yet, you can't get the note's final warning out of your mind. You stride quickly across the lobby and up the stairs, taking some measure of comfort in the knowledge that you at least contacted others you could trust, letting them know of your whereabouts and intent. Your clandestine meetings have rarely gone as planned, especially lately, and it never hurts to have some measure of backup. You stand before the blood-red door to room 225, take a deep breath, and knock. There's no going back now. You sit in a chair in the suite's living room, watching as the man who slipped you the note paces about nervously. He rambles about secret meetings and watchful staff. The entire time you find yourself glancing to the coffee table in front of you and the curved dagger that rests there. He pauses for a moment, pours himself a drink, and raises the glass to his lips with a shaky grip. He then pours a second drink and hands it to you. This is all going to sound crazy, he says, his voice little more than a whisper. He glances at every darting shadow and twitches at every creak the old building makes. I'm beginning to feel crazy, but there's too much going on here to just ignore. And I've never been a part of it long enough. You listen closely, but his words are starting to run together. His voice is ethereal and wispy, like wind at the end of a long tunnel. You blink rapidly. Your vision blurs. The next thing you know, you're on your feet. Your glass drops to the floor. And then we shall proceed to setup. Gather all cards from the Murder at the Excelsior Hotel encounter set. This set is indicated by the following icon. All right. That is all of these cards. Set the following encounter sets aside out of play. Alien interference, dark rituals, Excelsior management, sins of the past, and vile experiments. These sets are indicated by the following icons. All right, that is all of these. Construct the Act and Agenda deck using only Acts 1 and 2 and Agendas 1 and 2 from the Murder at the Excelsior Hotel encounter sets. All right, so let's get our stuff ready. 1, 2. One and 2. Set all 10 copies of the True Culprit aside out of play. That is all of these. Oops. The lead investigator begins play with the blood-stained dagger story asset under their control. All right, Nathaniel, you get the blood-stained dagger, the murder weapon. It's an item, weapon, melee. Cursed? As an action fight, you get +2 combat for this attack. Or, as an action, exhaust the blood-stained dagger and take a horror fight. You get +2 combat and deal +1 damage for this attack. If this attack defeats an enemy, draw a card. You feel your sins crawling on your back. Find each of the story assets from the 5 set-aside encounter sets. Alien Device, Tome of Rituals, Sinister Solution, Manager's Key, and Time-Worn Locket, and shuffle them together into a separate deck. This deck is called the Leads deck. Place this deck near the scenario reference card. All right, so here's the Alien Device, Manager's Key, Tome of Rituals, Sinister Solution, and the Time-Worn Locket. All right, let's shuffle these together. So if you've played this scenario before, you know that the randomness of this deck is what determines the replayability of this scenario. So I really hope I actually get something I've never played. I don't actually know exactly which ones I haven't played, but I'll know it when I see it, if I have played it before. All right. That is our Leeds deck. Put the following locations into play. Room 225, suite balcony, second floor halls, restaurant, and foyer. See suggested location placement below. All right, that is our suggested location placement. So, 225, the suite balcony, second floor hall, the foyer, and the restaurant. The lead investigator begins play in room 225. Each other investigator begins play in the foyer. Set each other location aside out of play. Set the following cards aside out of play. All 3 copies of Arkham Officer, the Sergeant Monroe story asset, and the What Have You Done weakness. Shuffle the remainder of the encounter cards to form the encounter deck. You are now ready to begin playing. Do not proceed to the following interlude until you are instructed to do so. All right, well, this will be our encounter deck, and I will shuffle it. And see you back for next time. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, comment, and subscribe. Until then, this is SuperFang99 signing off.